came to Chicago around 1976 with my two siblings, grandmother, and two aunts. We were smuggled over the border from Mexico in the back of a dark van with our only light being flashlights. This is the immigration story of my father, Jose Delgado. It all started back in Iguala Guerrero, Mexico, in the year 1970. The conditions in Iguala Guerrero were pretty poor, a lot of ranches and farm life. The weather was always hot, between 90 degrees to 100 degrees daily, and 75 degrees to 80 degrees in the winter. America first came to mind in the family when my grandma and grandpa decided they wanted to start a new life in the United States. They believed America was like this wonderland with great opportunities that was way better than Mexico, and believed it was the greatest place to find work and good pay. My grandparents arrived in Chicago around 1970 with the help of a coyote. A coyote is a smuggler who helps people cross the border and into the United States. It took them about 5 days to a week to reach Chicago and began to find work and start making a living for themselves in their new country. It was tough to find work because they were not citizens in this country, but my grandpa found a job as a machine operator in a factory, and my grandmother found work in a car dealership in Niles. In about 6 years, my grandparents had saved enough money to send for their two kids and family in Guerrero. My dad was smuggled here the same way his parents were, by the help of a coyote. It took my dad, his two siblings, his two aunts, and his grandmother 5 days to a week to get to Chicago. When my dad and the family came to the apartment that my grandparents were renting, there was a huge surprise. It turns out that in 1972, my grandparents had had another kid who they named Carlos Delgado. My dad, my aunt, and my uncle were not thrilled to find out that their parents had had another kid while they were away, so they treated him like a stranger until they were forced to play with him and got along like a family. My dad did not expect a lot of the United States, knowing he was only 6 years old, and didn't really know a lot at the time. So all he was told was that this was his new home. When my dad and his siblings learned English, they started school, and they got an education, and everything from there on out was good. They had fun growing up in Chicago. They even formed a breakdancing crew called Phase 2 Crosstown Crew, which was ranked top 10 in the world in the 1990s. Today, my dad is a police officer for the city of Berwyn and a part-time DJ, and has 4 beautiful kids, and is settled in the city of Westchester, Illinois. He became a U.S. citizen in the year 2009 when he passed the Constitution test. Who would have known that a kid from Iguala Guerrero, Mexico, would become the man he is today?